Harmful algal blooms are sprouting up now in Muskegon Lake, turning the water green.
News 8's Byron Tollefson went to the lake to find out why.
With warm weather continuing into October, algal blooms have popped up in Muskegon Lake for the third time this year. Although the wind has cleared things up a little bit, those who come here often still see it.
This fool ain't doing nothing.
It has been a lifetime of fishing for Stanley Goodwin, who's come to Muskegon Lake for more than 50 years. How often do you come to Muskegon Lake and fish?
If it was up to me, it'd be every darn day it didn't rain.
He's seen this before, and again on Monday, the water a murky green caused by algal blooms popping up in warm temperatures.
We never knew anything when I first moved here, never knew anything called an algae or algae bloom. I always thought algae was algebra, you know.
The city of Muskegon has asked Stanley and other residents to avoid swimming near the green blooms out of an abundance of caution. The state says it's the third time this year that algal blooms have sprouted up in the lake. How concerned are you about it?
Oh, I'm always concerned about it.
Dr. Alan Steinman with GVSU's Annis Water Resources Institute right on Muskegon Lake says algal blooms grow during warm, calm conditions, feeding on the lake's nutrients. That was the case over the last few days, creating the perfect storm.
We still don't have a good understanding at a scientific community as to why some blooms are toxic and some are not with the same exact species. In fact, in the lake, we could have the species blooming in two parts of the lake. One's toxic and one's not.
Steinman says the blooms normally congregate around the bays where there's less wind, but these went all the way toward the middle of the lake. The blooms turn the water green because they produce chlorophyll.
As the algae grow, they need chlorophyll to photosynthesize. That's the pigment that absorbs the sunlight. And so when you have a lot of algae, you have a lot of pigment, and it shows green.
Muskegon's Department of Public Works says they can't confirm yet whether the blooms are toxic as they wait for test results to come back. But Steinman says even if they are and you come in contact, you're more than likely fine.
Obviously, you want to stay away from it. There's potential for contact dermatitis, from the blue-green algal blooms. But in terms of you'd have to take in a lot of water. So I'm not as concerned about that.
The bigger concern, pets, especially dogs. Steinman says multiple die from the toxic water each year around the Great Lakes.
Dogs are more susceptible, and they're lapping up a lot of the water. It's very problematic for them.
Why he says if you see green, just stay away.
I swim in this lake, but I wouldn't swim in an algal bloom.
In Muskegon, Byron Tollefson, News 8.